Priscilla, thank you so much for joining me. I'm very excited to have your expertise on a topic that I think a lot of families would like to have some help on, which is making travel more sane and less expensive. So thank you for joining me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. You're like talking about one of my most favorite topics in the world.
Well, I'm a big believer, of course, saving money and, investing for the future. But the truth is, you also have to enjoy it. It's about enriching life. And I think travel is one of those great experiences that families can take advantage of. I think it's an important experience in life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That work-life balance is so important, and to not only to, the sanity, but to the health of a person as well. So
yes,
I definitely am a huge proponent of it.
So I would love to get some travel tips for you. I know like everybody is kind of different with how they set up their vacations, plan ahead. How do you do trips? I know some people like to do the whole bundles and packages, and other people kind of do it piece by piece. What's your method?
Right. So I personally love to use a travel agent because you get the best deals with travel agents. And people think a lot of times that, I'm going to spend so much more, I can do it cheaper myself. Really, travel agents don't get paid any more than what you would find the actual trip for, because it would make sense. It doesn't make sense for someone to use a travel agent if they can go get it for a better price. So the companies make sure that travel agents get the best deals out there. And the biggest piece with using a travel agent is that normally if you're more than 45 days out, you can break it up into as many payments as you want. So you can break it up into smaller chunks to get it done over a period of time, especially if you plan ahead. And that's the key to travel, is planning ahead.
Yeah, I love that, because I know a lot of families in particular, they want to go on a trip, but they don't want to go into debt. They don't want to put everything on that card at once. And then while they're in the trip, they're not enjoying it as much, because the back of their mind, they're like, man, I got to pay that off as soon as I get home. So I love that idea.
They don't take advantage of things to do on the islands and other places because they're still budget conscious of, that money that they spent up front for the actual trip. So absolutely. But I do bundle everything. You get the best deals when you bundle air, hotel, car, transfers, things of that nature. So anytime you can put as much stuff together as possible, the better the pricing is going to be.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. I wanted to ask you, do you have, since, you travel quite a bit, and you were just mentioning to me before we get started, like you're the expert with timing it with vacations. Do you have like some favorite sites or resources that you use to find those deals?
Yeah. So when I'm doing things on my own and not actually using my travel agent, I do go to Google Flights. That way, if you've never used Google Flights, you can put in exactly where you want to go, the dates you want to go, and then it pulls up the calendar and it shows you the lowest fares for all of the airlines that they use for those dates. So you can pick and choose according to, it gives you the whole list right there in one location. And I love it. So you click on the date, it gives you the airlines and the different times. And so it allows you to maybe book American going and Delta coming back and giving you the cheapest price with them together, which you can't do with only American or only Delta.
That's a good point. Breaking that up. I think some people were just so used to like flying with one airline, but you're missing out on an opportunity to save. I love that.
Not all of the airlines are located in there. Like Southwest is not in there, but they're an awesome travel option because of the fact you get the free bags.
Yes.
People don't realize until you get ready to leave how expensive bags can end up being. So Southwest is always a great option.
Good point. And I know you've mentioned like you've traveled with friends, and some of your friends have kids, and I'd love to get tips on how can you make this less stressful, because that's part of the whole reason having vacation, right? To relax a little bit as a family.
Yeah. So a lot of my friends, they take Disney cruises and Disney trips and things like that. And when they travel, they're prepping these kids way ahead of time, getting them excited about the trip and letting them know the expectations that they have for them while they're on this trip. And so for the older kids, not babies, they make it into like an adventure, and they do a countdown for them so that they're marking the calendar and how many days left to their trip. And then, when they get there, they feel like they're on this adventure to get to this happy place. And so they tend to be a lot more well-behaved and excited about, going somewhere. Now, my friends who have babies, they try to plan their trips during nap time or bedtime. So that the kids are naturally already, getting ready to go to sleep. So when they're on the plane, they tend to sleep more than they would be up. And that's not always L-proof because kids are unpredictable, right?
Kids will make you liars sometimes.
It tends to work.
Yes. But those are some great tips.
Your hair and do all that good stuff.
I know. We've done that a few times when I've had to, for work, like travel, and I've took my little one. And I will say, trying to time it with nap time has made me different.
Yeah. It makes a world of difference when that kid is really sleepy, and unless they're fighting to sleep, they tend to just knock on out.
Yes. So the last thing I wanted to talk to you about is, families want to use like credit cards responsibly, and they decide, you know what, we'd love to get some extra rewards or use rewards for these trips. And I'd love to talk to you about the fact that there's so many credit card offers. How can families sort this out? Should they look for a card that offers points, cash back, or the flights? How do they juggle which rewards would fit them for travel?
So, points versus cash is definitely a matter of personal preference. There are cards such as Coastal's Signature Premier Rewards card that allows you to choose between whether you want points or cash. Merchandise, travel, a lot of those cards do the travel, and they have a concierge service with them. So it's really a matter of personal preference. It's not really a right or wrong answer to that. It just depends on if someone is particular about a specific airline that they like to use. But either way, if you find the card that like that Premier Rewards card with Coastal that allows you to choose between points and cash, you're in a win-win situation every time.
Yes, definitely. And of course, since this is a personal finance podcast, we tell everyone, if you're listening and you're using a credit card, you pay off that balance at the end of the month, because if you don't, those rewards,
Absolutely.
it's not done. Thank you so much.